welcome to this episode of Technology Enhanced Learning, the show that features brief summaries about research and innovation in the area of computer-based education. I am your host, Didith Rodrigo, from the Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines. Today's guest is Dr. Tak-Wai Chan. Dr. Chan is Chair Professor of the Graduate Institute of Network Learning Technology at National Central University in Taiwan. He has worked on various areas of digital technology-supported learning, including artificial intelligence in education, computer-supported collaborative learning, digital classrooms, online learning communities, mobile and ubiquitous learning, digital game-based learning, and most recently, technology-supported mathematics and language arts learning. Dr. Chan is also one of the founding fathers of the Asia-Pacific Society for Computers in Education and is an APSCE fellow. Welcome, Dr. Chan, and thank you for agreeing to speak to us today. Dr. Chan, out of all the many research projects that you have undertaken in your career, I'd like to focus today's interview on IDC, or Interest-Driven Creator Theory. Could you start us off, please, by explaining to us what IDC is?
Good afternoon, Didith. Thanks for inviting me to talk about this topic. We've developed 4 theoretical papers on IDC theory so far. We found that for Asian countries like Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, China, Korea, India, we have too much examination driven, and we are concerning examination outcome rather than the learning process. This makes it difficult for us to disseminate technology enhanced learning properly in many Asian countries. Now, can we make the learning process enjoyable while students can excel in learning performance and hence their examination outcome? This is our question. We think the answer is yes, because with interest, students will make more effort and thus enjoy more. As a result, they perform better in learning. I would like to put up some PowerPoint here. First, we have to focus on 3 concepts. We call this the 3 encoded concepts. The first one is the creation concept, and then the second one is the interest concept. The third one is the happy concept. We can partition the learning process as 3 sub-processes: imitating, combining, and staging. No imitating, no learning. We cannot learn swimming without teaching by some coach or imitating other people how to swim. Then combining. Here, what we mean by that is that we combine what we imitated from outside. At the same time, we combine what we have acquired in our brain already. So this is the creation. And then for about the staging, this is a subcomponent of the creation, is to get your creative product, maybe only ideas, to demonstrate or to share with other people so that you can receive social recognition, such as like self-esteem, you have a self-actualization, or in general, the personal achievement. Let us go to another PowerPoint. It's how to make the learning process or the creation process interesting. So here, interest is treated as an error. For example, how we can learn or how we can create something painfully or with interest. That's what we call this error. So which one we prefer? Of course, we want to learn with interest. And then we want to learn curiously so that we can trigger the interest. We want to learn, to create immersively. So this is the flow state. You lose your sense of time, you lose your self-consciousness, and then focus on something intensively. And then also we learn meaningfully in the sense that we want to extend what we know already and then with a purpose. So together with all these learning supports, we can form an interest-driven creation loop, IDC loop, interest-driven creation loop. Many people may ask what is interest? What is interest by itself? So interest is treated as a noun, is something. So for painting, fishing, or music, we may ask whether painting is your interest whether fishing is your interest, and so forth, right? And then how about for academic subjects, such as reading, writing, math, science? So we may ask whether reading is your interest, whether science learning is your interest. You can ask the same thing. So interest is a thing, it's a noun. It's something in your mind, in your brain. Just like your muscle, we need to develop your interest. We need to develop your muscle. So if you don't develop your interest, it will fade away. For other people's research, for 30 years, mainly in the Western country, in general, there are two kinds or two phases of interest development. One is called a situational interest. It's a temporary interest, not stable interest. The second one is individual interest. It's more stable. So just like if you enjoy fishing, fishing is your individual interest. When you find time, then you go somewhere, go to the river to enjoy your fishing. Now I go to the. I know you are interested in a habit loop. So
yeah, I was when I was reading through your papers, you mentioned this thing called the habit loop, and you said that it was composed of environment, routine, and harmony. And so I was wondering if you could talk a little about what these different components are.
Yeah, the habit loop, they have the components, the curing and routine and harmony. We go through the habit loop, just like exercising, reading or exercising, doing science repeatedly. Cooling around environment is some place, some time, some particular time in a day, maybe once a day or twice a day or once a week or twice a week. This place is something, it's somewhere you are comfortable. So you repeat through the process. So this is the routine. The routine just I mentioned maybe once a day, maybe twice a day, maybe 3 times a week, something like that. Okay, harmony. I think harmony, there are several subcomponents over there. One is the satisfaction. It's a very important part. Another one is the inner peace. Some kind of harmony within yourself. Another one I would call the outer peace, such as some positive relationship with other people, and also peace with the environment. So we have a lot of environmental problems these days. So that's why we think as the satisfaction is important.
Mm-hmm. And how do we as educators help our students develop this loop, this habit loop?
The first thing I would say determination. The second thing I would say the patience. The first thing, if possible, I think modeling. Let me explain further. Determination means we will do this thing, we'll keep repeating these activities. So it needs the administrator and educator to have strong determination. Patience means sometimes it's difficult to start off. So you can try a little bit first. For example, for reading, you can try with only 10 minutes. And then later on, you extend from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, and then to 20 minutes, and then to half an hour. And then if you cannot try it every day, you can try twice a week, and then increase it to 3 times a week or 4 times a week, things like that. Modeling, if possible, is very powerful, because if the teacher can play the role of model, that will be very helpful. Then students among themselves, they will imitate with each other. So they will become model of each others. So modeling by the adult, if possible, is very powerful. So again, the determination, patience, and modeling. Okay.
And how can we use this framework, the IDC framework, when we design educational software? Because our organization APSCE is interested in technology interventions that are founded on strong theoretical foundation. So how do we now bring this theoretical foundation and implement it in technology?
This is indeed a very good question, and not much discussion about that. And that's why I will say this may be a part of the future paper talking about IDC theory. And I would say we should go through 3 sub-processes. The first sub-process is conceptual and analysis design. That means, first of all, because we treat learning as creation. So conceptually, you should divide your learning task as 3 subtasks. One is the imitation subtask. Another one is the combination combining subtask. The third one is a staging this. That means to help the student to have their product to be shared with other people. So for the conceptual analytic design, you have to divide these learning tasks as 3 learning subtasks. So this is the first thing you have to do. So this is the creation loop design in a way. And then the second way, you have to put the interest into, you have to integrate interest in this creation loop design. That means you have to make the imitating process interesting. You have to make your combination process interesting. You have to make your staging process or sub-process interesting. So this is the IDC loop design, this IDC loop design. So this is, in general, the first stage is the conceptual and analysis design. So you analyze your learning task. And the second one is the participatory design. That means, so you work together of education practitioners and then they test your ideas. And then repeat previous discuss the sub-process, and then with the happy note, find a friend. So for example, you find a familiar and comfortable place to undertake the subtask, arranging the activity via the routine and checking and ensuring that the routine is harmony. So this is a happy loop. For these 2 stages, I don't think you need to design your software. So many trouble that we have experienced is that we first design the software and then ask people to use it. Oh, you can attain this because using your software. This is not true. You understand the learning task. And then you understand what does mean by interest. Interest is more important than qualitative things. If interest is okay, then you can learn better. So don't worry about whether you learn well. You worry about interest, and then go through these 2 stages. And then the first stage is software design, some serious software design, and then keep improving it through the 2 sub-processes. So the first stage is conceptual and analysis design phase. The second phase is the participatory design phase. Finally is the some serious software design phase. Of course, you can try some smaller software to try in the second phase.
Well, thank you. I think you've given us a lot to think about. Maybe to just wrap up this interview, did you want to have like a final message to the people who will listen to this interview? Do you have? You've said quite a lot that I think will resonate with educators and with researchers. But is there a final message that you'd like to share?
Yes. So first, congratulations to this. If you will become our president, so maybe 2 years to come. And then let me see. Our mission to establish APSCE is to play a very important role for changing education in Asia, for the better education in Asia. And then we think APSCE, for example, even the journal papers, the website, the journal, our journal paper, or all other activities, we should make good impact. And also the learning and also the change of education will go very fast in the coming 10 years or 20 years. So we have made up the effort. So we hope all of us not maintaining red type. We have to move, and also the APSCE. And we have to move APSCE to play a stronger role and more influential and impactful role in the future for Asian education. Remember, Asia will be the most influential and most rich continent in the world by the end of this century.
Thank you very much for your time, and I think we can Once again, thank you, Dr. Tak-Wai Chan, for your time and for sharing your knowledge and your expertise and all your very valuable ideas with all of us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Didith, for inviting me.